For coming down, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a different perspective than the technological overview or anything more specific as it applies to certain segments. I'm hoping to give you a bit more of an overview of where is our current status as far as the clean tech and applications of construction technologies in our sector here, and more so what are the opportunities and the challenges that we as practitioners actually face in the industry. So let's just kind of get right into it, because we are a little bit on the clock. Daryl told me he'll cut me right off as soon as the 13.5 minutes are out, so I'm going to get to it. I'd like to start out with a quick quote, and which is focused around the theme, which is adaptation. To paraphrase Charles Darwin, that it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. And I think that we're all seeing this in the last couple of years, especially the industry really evolve and take a very different approach as far as adaptation to technologies. So before I start out, I'll tell you quickly about who we are, what we do, what's our perspective, what are the pressures that we've been feeling in the industry, as well as what are the technologies that are coming out and becoming a bit prevalent, what's the opportunities, challenges, and of course I will wrap up quickly with that. So everybody knows what clean tech is here. You've been through about, I believe, 5 hours of it now, so I'm not going to review it. But in construction, more specifically, technology and the term is used to describe innovative technologies, more specifically the ones that reduce the overall energy consumption and that improve the overall user environment. So while you're sitting here, everybody's comfortable, feeling about 21 degrees inside, while it's quite windy, cold out. So clean technology delivers the same result while hopefully reducing the energy input in doing so. And it's really been an integral part of green design, especially as it applies to a lot of our commercial residential buildings. So quickly about who we are and what we do. We've got two companies under our group. One is the mechanical construction firm that actually goes out and puts in renewable and conventional mechanical systems, as well as we do some electrical into our buildings. We focus on commercial, we do some residential, and a little bit of industrial applications, and actually finding ways to apply a lot of technologies that you guys are discussing into buildings here in our climate. We procure, we design, we install and service the technologies themselves. The second arm is our small consultant firm, and what we do is primarily look at project development strategies to actually bring about projects and innovative ideas into buildings developments, and help a lot of different builders and developers look at the different technologies available locally and ways to actually execute them, because from the concept and the opportunity and the availability of product to actual installation and servicing, there's quite a bit of a process to get to. So we focus on delivering those solutions. We've done projects that have applied successfully geothermal applications, ocean thermal, active passive solar thermal for heating and cooling. We've done PV projects, as well as have looked at a number of hybrid and unique blend applications into buildings. So now worked with clients that have been quite diverse as far as their background in the industry, working with architects, builders, developers, not-for-profit groups in helping them apply different technologies and actually have a project to showcase that's real, tangible, and actually has hopefully operating savings that we have been trying to achieve with the clean tech applications. So currently we've really felt a lot of different pressures on the industry as far as different sectors, and actually trying to push the industry and a lot of the players here to become more innovative, to actually look at different technologies, and to become more environmentally conscious, I guess. We felt sustainable/environmental impact quite a bit. We have felt the emerging carbon trade market coming up. Alberta being the first province to actually impose industry regulation for greenhouse gas emissions. Down south, we've seen a lot of pressure coming up from the US, and the politics are rising. The demand on Canada as far as developing a position as a global marketplace leader is really starting to put us in a position where we have to become innovative and look at different solutions in our construction industry beyond the conventional approaches. And the reason I'm actually focusing on building sector itself is first and foremost because, as most of you hopefully know, buildings are actually the #1 CO2 emitter by sector. It's not technology, or it's not industry, sorry. It's not transportation, it's actually buildings. We use the most for energy, water, electricity, as well as our CO2 production. So you would think that the overall notion of sustainable business and sustainable building practices would really actually be and make a lot of just good business sense, but in reality, it's not quite that easy to actually get there. Even though buildings are healthier, they're more comfortable, they're more energy efficient, they obviously are having a lot of more of the environmental benefits to them. Reduce operating costs, they increase the building value. Your ROI goes up, usually substantially enough to be noticeable. You have occupancy ratio increase as well as your rent usually goes up as a result of application of a lot of different technologies. So if that's the case, then why are we not seeing places like the Googleplex becoming more prevalent in our everyday sort of life? You know, you drive down the street in Alberta, you don't see stuff like this. You don't see solar applications readily available in our day-to-day operations. And that is primarily driven by one simple factor that we as practitioners have really seen, and it is the capital cost for technology to the end user, the end client, is actually just that, it's high. The economics that, you know, through the conventional applications that they're using to analyze their models are just not there, or oftentimes are too high for them to make any tangible sense out of it. So even though that's the number one reason that we've noticed in the industry, there's quite a few others, primarily sort of underlying grassroots problems that we've seen that are really halting the growth of potential technologies and applications. You know, we usually see quite a bit of a knowledge gap in the industry as far as the end user and what can actually be done from the technology, what's possible. When people think of solar, they can do, for example, the whole building and actually power the whole building out of the photovoltaics. The reality is you won't be able to depend on your energy demand. Simple things like that are actually creating a lot of misconceptions in the industry as to what's possible. The industry's training and sort of quality assurance standards, including the proper inspections processes, are just not quite there. Municipalities, municipal and provincial governments are really struggling to catch up to the new ideas and technologies in their everyday processes, quality assurance, inspections, you name it. Our professionals, all engineers and architects that we have seen are, although very knowledgeable in the industry, are actually not oftentimes promoting the technology, either through just a lack of knowledge about it or just general ignorance about the what is available out there and how can we actually apply it. So we really struggle with that on the design stage, and as you know, if you have a design stage capability, really you can't push a project any further. And oftentimes just a stale mental attitude of conservatism has really halted a lot of great potential projects that can be implemented. Despite the challenges, we are seeing some innovative sort of applications in four major sectors that we have seen and are currently applying it at. Energy efficiency, which we have just heard, for example, LEDs is a great example of that. You use a different technology, making it more efficient, yet still achieving the same result. Lighting, plug-in loads, of course, heating, cooling systems, building envelopes have all been re-looked at and redesigned to just use less energy. We're kind of realizing that, hey, if we use less energy, then really we don't have to spend as much on the systems to power them. The on-site generation, as far as cogen, wind or solar PV, have really become quite prominent on the industry right now as well.